Do you know why Satan is afraid of a praying woman? It's because her prayer shakes the kingdom of darkness, disrupts Satan's plans, and makes God's power available in her life. Stay with me to the end of this video, because by the end of it, you will know why your prayers are Satan's worst nightmares. And this is welcoming you to our channel, where we study the Word of God, making it simple for everyone to understand. Satan is not afraid of you when you cry, worry, or murmur. But when you put your knees on the ground, pray to God, that is when he becomes scared of you, because he knows that your prayers are very powerful. So in today's video, we are going to look at 5 reasons why Satan is afraid of a praying woman. And this includes the following. Number 1, when a woman prays, she covers her entire household. A praying woman takes pleasure in presenting every member of her family before God. She is a family intercessor. She prays for everyone in the house, covering them in the presence of God and shielding them from satanic attack, from satanic manipulation. She doesn't allow anything evil to come near them. She goes to God in prayer, presenting every member of her family before God, telling God about every one of them, presenting them before God, that God should do good things for them. Just like the virtuous woman in Proverbs chapter 31 verse 27, which said, "She looketh well to the ways of her household." A woman that prays presents every member of her household before the presence of God, asking God to shield them, to protect them, to provide for them, to be with them everywhere they go. So Satan is always afraid of a praying woman, because he knows that she is shielding every member of her family. She acts as a shield to cover every member of her family. So if you are a woman and you pray for every member of your family, praying earnestly with all your heart, Satan is always afraid of you, because he knows that when you start praying, you will not miss anybody, you will not miss anyone. You will present everyone before God. You present their health, you present everything concerning them before God. So you're acting as a shield, preventing Satan from attacking any member of your family. And I will encourage you to pray for your family, pray for your children, pray for your husband, pray for the well-being of every member of your family, so that Satan will not see a loophole that he will use to come and attack you. That is why he's afraid of a praying woman. Instead of murmuring, worrying, and complaining, pray to God. Tell God to protect every member of your family. And when you're doing that, you see that Satan will always be afraid of you. Number 2, a praying woman walks in spiritual authority. In Luke chapter 10 verse 19, it said, "Behold, I give unto you power to tread upon serpent and scorpion, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you." When you pray as a woman, you are releasing power. You're making power available. And when you pray with all your heart using this power, Satan is always afraid. He knows that because of our nature as women, we're supposed to be crying, worrying, and murmuring. But when you stand up as a child of God, as a woman, and you present your matter before God, you're making power available. You're releasing power. He said that nothing shall by any means hurt you. So if you're challenged in any area of life, instead of crying, instead of murmuring, as a woman, you should pray. Stand your ground and pray. Pray to God. Present those things before God, because when you're doing that, you're making power available. And Satan cannot stand a praying woman. Satan cannot stand a woman that has spiritual authority. When you stand in your spiritual authority, there will be no loophole for Satan to attack you. When you stand in your spiritual authority in prayers, Satan will not be able to invade your mind as to bring negative thoughts that will make you to start worrying and thinking, because you are spiritually alert, because you're making tremendous power available through prayer. So when a woman prays with all her heart, he's making power available. I'll also encourage you to pray. I'll also encourage you to make power available by using the word of God and praying the word of God, because when you are doing that, Satan will always be afraid of you. He will not come near you, because he knows that you know your worth, you know your spiritual level, you know your spiritual stand, and he will not be able to come near your environment. Anytime you pray with all your heart, you're walking in spiritual authority, and Satan knows that he's already under your feet, and you also know that Satan is already under your feet. You have power over him, you have dominion over him, so he will not come around to mess around with you, because he knows that anytime he comes, you will always defeat him in your prayers. Number 3, a praying woman disrupts Satan's plans. Satan will always want to bring his plan over our lives. The Bible said in John chapter 10 verse 10 that the thief cometh not, but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Satan will want to hinder us from being that which God has planned for us. Satan will always want to hinder us from achieving God's plan for our life. He wants to hinder us from achieving our purpose in life, fulfilling our destiny. But that is not true with a praying woman. You remember Hannah when she was barren and she was being mocked by her co-wife, because Satan does not want her to fulfill God's purpose by bringing Samuel the great great prophet. But when Hannah went to pray, when Hannah presented her matter before God, she called upon God, and God answered her and changed the plan of the enemy, disrupted the plan of the wicked one, disrupted the plan of the enemy, making the fulfillment of the destiny of Hannah to be achieved. Hannah prayed to God, and God granted her request. Hannah prayed to God, and God made available that which she desired. So this thereby disrupting the plans of the wicked. Also, Esther, when Haman wanted to destroy her generation, what did she do? Say, if I perish, I perish. She went to God in prayer and in fasting, disrupting the plan of the wicked, because Satan wanted to wipe out their generation through Haman. But because she prayed, she disrupted the plans of the wicked. So a praying woman is always being feared by Satan, because Satan knows that when she prays, she will destroy and disrupt his plans. So I will encourage you again to pray as a woman, thereby disrupting the plans of the wicked over your life, over your family, over everyone concerning you. When you pray as a woman, your generations are preserved. When you pray as a woman, your generation are being delivered. Your generation will be preserved by your prayer. So encouragement is here again for you to be steadfast in prayer. Do not be lukewarm. Do not be weak. Do not be weary, because Satan will want to distract you. Satan will want to hinder you. Satan will want to cause confusion that will make you not to pray. Do not allow him, because anytime he's bringing that confusion, he's achieving his purpose. But you will not allow him to hinder you from achieving your purpose, from achieving your plan, from achieving the desire of God in your life. Destroy the plans of the wicked one by praying. Anytime you pray, you're hindering Satan's plan from coming to manifestation in your life. Number 4, she stays spiritually alert. A woman that prays always stays spiritually alert. She discerns Satan's plans even before they come. In 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8, it says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." He said, your adversary the devil walketh about, seeking whom he will devour. But the praying woman will always detect the attack of the enemy even before he comes. She is spiritually alert in the spirit, able to know when satanic attack comes, because she's always on the prayer mountain. She always prays to see things in the spirit realm. So a praying woman is always being fed by the devil, because she is a disruption, because she sees things before they happen, and she wages war against them with her prayers. Praying consistently as a woman makes you to be spiritually alert, and when you are spiritually alert, you will disrupt and cancel all the plans of the enemy over your life. And if you have not yet done so, I want you to subscribe to this channel, put on the notification bell, also like this video so that you spread to a greater number of people on this platform. God bless you. Number 5, a praying woman moves heaven. When a woman prays consistently and with all her heart, she moves heaven. She makes tremendous power available, just as we have said in James chapter 5 verse 16. It said, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man, of a righteous woman, availeth much. So when you pray, you move heaven. In Jeremiah chapter 33 verse 3, it said, "Call upon me, and I will answer thee, and I will show you great and mighty things which you knoweth not." He said you should call upon him and he will show you. So when a woman prays with all her heart and calls upon God, God will always show her great and mighty things which she does not know, which will make her to be able to withstand all the fiery darts of the wicked one, which will make her to always stand against the manipulations of the wicked one over her life. So a praying woman moves heaven. When a woman prays consistently with all her heart, in Luke chapter 18 verses 1 to 8, the woman that went to Don Judge for her to be vindicated of all her adversaries, he kept on persistently calling on the judge to vindicate her. Because of her persistence, the judge vindicated her. So anytime a woman prays, anytime a woman consistently prays, she will always get what she wants. She will always make power available. She will always get her request met. Consistency and praying with all your heart as a woman makes Satan to be afraid of you, because he knows that when you are consistent in prayer, you will always get what you want. The Syrophoenician woman that went to Jesus asking for the healing of her daughter, even though Jesus told her that she's not supposed to get her healing, because she persisted, because she kept on asking, she got what she wanted. She got the healing of her daughter. So anytime a woman prays consistently, Satan is always afraid, because God will always open doors for her. The heavens will always be open for a woman that prays consistently, and Satan does not want you to do that. And because Satan does not want you to do that, you should not allow him. She will always pray with all your heart as a woman. No matter your schedule, try as much as you can to present your prayers before God. You know we are emotional as humans. You might might end up crying, getting yourself worked up, getting yourself saying things that you don't like. But all I want to tell you and encourage you today is that you keep on praying persistently, because when you are doing that, you're warding Satan off your family, you're warding Satan off your environment, you're warding Satan off your life, and you get your victory at last. So I want to encourage you as a woman to pray, because it's very important to pray. Do not worry, do not murmur, do not complain. Pray to God consistently. Hold on to God. Believe that He will answer you. Trust Him for His timing. Because I know that when you're praying consistently and you're praying as a woman, Satan is always afraid of you. And do you know that you are the intercessor of your family? You're the one that God has placed in that house to pray, to deliver your family, to deliver your generation, to bring the will of God to pass. Remember also Anna in the New Testament. She kept on praying. She was 84 years. She was always going to the temple of God to pray, praying for the fulfillment of the Messiah. And she saw Jesus Christ when she was born. So when you consistently pray as a woman, you're disrupting Satan's plans. You're hindering his manipulations. You're hindering his plans from being executed in your life, in your environment. So as a woman, you are encouraged to pray. Pray consistently with all your heart, because when you're doing that, Satan is always afraid of you. And we have come to the end of today's Bible study, and I believe you have found value from it. And I want you to share it to those who need it. And until we come your way again in our next upload, I want to say God bless you.